cheap.
All right, first let's talk about the Mickey promo.
Mickey promo.
1 of 50 gold Mickey promo.
Close. It's 1 of 500.
Well, there's 50 of them too. So
It's at least 50.
So I've been gone for 11 days. The only reason I made it back home is because of these incredible booster snacks. God, I wish we had like encased promo. Are you recording this? Oh my God. Whoa. Welcome to May the Zoo be with you, America's most favorite TCG podcast, where we are, of course, joined later today by Taylor Swift's #1 fan, Donald.
He's going to hate this.
And I am, of course, joined by the boy in blue, Mr. Blueberry, Mr. Blueberry Muffin with the hair on top, Josh.
You're losing your touch if all you got is the color of my shirt.
That's a weird color. That's a weird color for a shirt.
it matches his eyes.
It's just baby blue. What's wrong with baby blue? Baby?
And I'm, of course, joined by the man who I'm, Louie. I usually have a hard intro for you. I just want to say I'm glad your family stuff worked out okay. I'm glad that all worked out for you.
Yes.
And welcome back to the podcast. We were all worried about your family, and we're glad that it all worked out fine. Welcome back, Louie.
This is such a weird angle. Why do you keep doing this?
I was worried about his family. It was a family situation.
And we are joined by George. I have nothing for you. That's what you mean to me. I have no diss. We have entered the point of our relationship where I no longer care to say something mean about you.
One of my favorite podcasts. It was two people, and they're having a beef, and they're like, no.
I've said for years that we would both benefit from us having a beef and separating passing ways, but for whatever reason.
And then the reunion episode in like 3 years.
Yeah. All right. We have a very long podcast for you, which includes a 50-minute Lorcana segment with Donald. But before we get there, let's shout out boostersnacksus.com, where we have a brand new code for you all.
Brand new code.
Brand new code now includes an encased promo, and you're still going to get 50% off of whatever you want on the website. That code is bundle2024. Booster snacks are delicious.
But Louie,
snacks. Hold on, let me finish before you get into your big butts. Delicious chippy snacks. They have amazing flavors of both ranchy flavor and a spicy flavor. I think you should mix them together for the best flavor.
Fire and ice experience.
but Louie, I have a problem.
What's your problem?
I'm worried about if my incredible promos and incredible cards I get from Booster Snacks can be adequately protected and graded. Is there anything we can do about that,
if
Louie?
you're not satisfied with your free encased promo, which you get with your Bundle 2024 offer, they are now grading these at PSA, which is pretty wild. So,
time out. Are those your encased promos? Because we had a deal.
I've been opening all mine. Yeah, I don't keep them sealed. That's good for you. You're keeping them sealed.
You were supposed to send me the sealed ones, and I was going to send you the other ones to open. And you open yours?
I always open it's the first thing I do is open my promos. I got to know what I get. I got the electric Pandoon and the electric Screecher. I'm going for the next electric. I'm going for all the electric set.
I think it's great.
Here,
like, you can use that code to get an extra encased promo.
Here's the other things we're talking about today. We're talking about Magic going mainstream. We're going to talk about Modern Horizons 3 and everybody all of a sudden being on board with it now. Sorcery is going to Essen and Vegas, and they're going online. We don't know that at all. And then we're going to talk about Star Wars numbers pretty briefly because we have a very long segment with Donald, my best friend,
#1 fan,
my best friend, George's best friend, and somebody
Josh's worst enemy.
Josh's worst enemy.
What? I said best friend of the podcast.
No.
And best friend of Taylor Swift.
And best friend of Taylor Swift. Donald was at the Lorcana event in
Goatkana.
In
Hotlanta.
And
You're doing great.
He had a lot of insight from that. And then we also just BS for a while with Donald about random stuff. So have fun with that.
It's made this to be with you. If you came here for information, get out. We're here for Booster Snacks.
We're here to eat chips.
This has been a very big 2 weeks for Magic the Gathering. This time last year, Josh, do you remember what our big conversation was?
Yeah.
No. What? Of course not.
No. does Louis. He's absolutely about to make something up.
We were talking about this time last year was the release of Lord of the Rings, and all these major streamers were ripping Lord of the Rings packs.
Oh,
And
yes.
we
Yeah.
were talking about how big of a deal it was that these non-Magic the Gathering creators that had millions of subscribers, tons of followers, were bringing Magic the Gathering more mainstream, and that is what Universes Beyond did really well. Well, now we have just regular Magic being opened by some of the biggest YouTuber people on the internet, which is pretty wild. So recently, Pay Money Wubby, who we've talked about often on the channel,
He's been in it for a minute.
Yeah, he's big. He's big, but he's not that big, right? Like in numbers.
He's not Louis big.
You hit 35,000. You think you can
He
play
is
in
not
the
sponsored
arena?
by Booster Snacks.
Yeah,
that is
not
how not big
sponsored.
he is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bingo. But I think this guy has another name that I don't actually know. Penguin, though. Penguin. Moist Critical.
Yeah.
Josh,
Wait. Moist Critical?
Yep. Moist Critical is a massive YouTuber who makes tons of content and has hundreds of thousands of consistent views. And he has, in his words, what?
He has 15 million subscribers?
Yes.
In his own words, he's got the addiction again.
Yeah.
He's cracking packs. He's playing games.
Hold on. Not just cracking packs.
Oh, no. Hold on. Well, don't. He's also just cracking packs. He opened 12 collector booster boxes of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. He is also just cracking packs, but
That's hilarious. His title was I've relapsed. That's
yes.
No, he's like hard.
I also love how the Magic videos are by far his least viewed.
Yeah.
Well, he's just getting started, man. He's just new. Listen, if you want to come on the podcast so we can help your exposure in this community a little bit, we're more than willing.
There's a naked woman on the one right before that.
You're welcome.
This is YouTube is wild.
Yeah, and he is very good at it. He's very good. Apparently.
It's almost as good as we are.
I gotta watch his content to see what makes it.
He did a Commander stream with Wubby, or a Commander episode with Wubby, and his first 4 plays were all Kaladesh inventions.
Why is he suing U.S. immigration?
So, George, you're making fun of it, but he got 1.3 million views. That's
the one right next to it got 4.8 million views.
Yeah, but 1.3 million
views on a Magic the Gathering video.
Listen, as one of the top 10 Magic the Gathering viewed videos of all time with my 10 million YouTube short, I
thought you were number 1. What happened?
No, I think the War of the Spark.
Pay Money Wubby happened. That's what happened.
There's not
Pay Money Wubby.
Hold on. There's not that many videos that have more than 1 million views for Magic the Gathering.
You're crushing it, dude.
This is a huge. I'm not talking about my short drop.
I just assume you're pumping your one piece of content that worked out.
Could not care less about my.
That was gold. I'm glad you think that little of Louis. He's like, I gotta
come on, he does carry. Brings up every episode.
How amazing my video is.
Talk about his shirt every episode. He cares. He's going to tell you he does. We talk about it every episode.
Not.
Every episode.
1.3 million people actually watching content for more than 5 seconds, and watching somebody be passionate about.
That was maybe a top 5 most disrespectful moment of the podcast, and it was unintentional. That's the best part.
That's what I honestly think of him.
No, that's what made it so great.
1.3 million people watching an alpha break is really big, and on
it's
top
not
of that,
big if he doesn't come on the podcast and discuss it, though. Can we agree on that?
We can agree on that.
Sure.
If we're not replacing this podcast is being recorded at 10:15 on Thursday night. It airs at 9 a.m. If we're not replacing the Donald section with Most Critical by the morning, then what's
the point of any of this?
What's the point of any of it?
Can you just Photoshop Moist Critical's face on Donald and just have the same conversation? But do it really poorly, like a cutout in South Park where it bounces around?
Yeah. Anyway,
Donald's my best friend and not yours.
I think that this is going to have a pretty big effect on vintage Magic. I think this is going to have the
Are we having the
followers-
conversation? Are we jumping into it?
We're back, baby.
Let's do it.
Could you imagine
We got $10,000 playmats. We got million views videos. We're so back.
We are so back.
We're so back.
Where's Logan Paul? Where's Logan Paul? That's
The
Logan Paul's music.
Moist critical now.
Pokemon's dead. We don't even need Pokemon to pump because everyone's ripping open Magic.
And they're gonna open booster snack promos. Like, we don't need Pokemon.
Yeah, we gotta get on to it. So I actually think this is a really big deal, though.
So the angle that I like it for this is there's a lot of us watch people like Moist Critical. There's also a lot of younger people that watch Moist Critical,
I've never watched Moist. I think his videos have popped up and I've watched.
I meant people our age, but sure, live your truth, King. I don't know why you're throwing shade at his content just because it's chasing yours.
Louis will diss every other content creator he can find.
I know. I get it every week, and I keep showing up, and I don't know why.
He's like, Tia's not that good. Moist Critical's not that good.
I was dissing me for not knowing
Hey, buddy W, who's that?
Because I'm too old to know his content.
But okay, perfect example. We talk about classic vintage Magic, can't get in front of younger people. This is someone who's making it, at least making some of those people think this is cool. A lot of those people don't.
It's super cool.
A lot of those people won't, but some of them will think this is a cool thing. And we just talked about how do you transition people in collecting. This is the way it happens, man. That's the way it happens.
This is the type of growth or like content that Magic can't even buy. Like you can't buy Moist Critical going on and making content. You can't buy what happened with the Lord of the Rings where streamers were trying
XQC is just ripping packs trying to get
like you can't buy that kind of attention.
Asmongold was ripping packs at one point.
And this will evolve. I think this will be really big for Modern Horizons 3. I think this will be really big for like vintage Magic. It will be interesting to see how long this lasts.
So let me ask you, does this happen without Lord of the Rings and the streamers kind of getting their feet wet and getting in a little bit, and the One Ring sale and Magic hitting mainstream channels? A lot of these mainstream channels actually talk about the $2 million card.
And Taylor Swift save the
does that happen
gathering market
without Lord of the Rings and everything that went on?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Lord of the Rings probably.
I think you're right. I think you're spot on there.
I think Post Malone and Taylor Swift saved the Magic the Gathering market.
Who? Post Malone and who?
I don't know that Post Malone, like, I don't want to be accused of dissing Post Malone after I say this, but I guess I'll still share my opinions.
Buddy, George and I will, just because now we know you don't want to.
I know what's going to happen. I don't think Post Malone, like, brings an audience to Magic the Gathering.
What?
I disagree.
Really? Like,
what a wild take!
Not in a meaningful way that someone you watch every day on a live stream does.
Posty doesn't.
Yeah, but like Moist, his video is him and
I can't call him Moist. It's going back to Penguin.
The main thing that he does is make videos, and the main thing that he does the main thing that his videos are doing right now is showing off something that he loves in Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Post Malone is not singing songs and making an album with album art, and he's not doing he's not Steve Aokiing it, right? He doesn't have he doesn't have
the Metazoo pants.
He doesn't have Magic the Gathering pants.
He's
not putting himself in a card on the whatever. I guess he is putting himself in a card on, but like it's just different. Like I don't think his audience is a transitional into Magic world.
I think you're right that these streamers create more meaningful audiences, more audiences that are likely to buy a pack, open cards. But what Post does is Post puts the Magic the Gathering name in front of way more people, right? Just the idea that there is something called Magic the Gathering. So it's different, but I think there's more meaningful marketing, for Wizards of the Coast, I guess, from these big streamers.
Yeah. Either way, it's good for Magic, and it's good for anybody who has a vested interest in Magic, at least for the short term. I think it is very good. I saw a post that was talking about that this type of Pay Money Wubby and Moist Critical are single-handedly saving the vintage old Magic because they could not have done
that's a wild take.
It was
didn't they load itself for $3 million 2 weeks ago?
That's true.
Now, hold on. Was Moist Critical the secret buyer?
No.
Ooh. Oh.
Well, that was lame. Thanks, Louis.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think he wants to open one.
Well,
I think this is where I think the biggest winner of any of this is the dude who has like 5 alpha sealed decks and can like finally there's a buyer who's like, oh, what I want to do is make a video.
Did you hear his plan? His plan was to open 2 alpha starters, shuffle them up, and play them against one another. And Wubby asked him, "Oh, like in sleeves?" He's like, "I wasn't thinking so."
Raw dog it, baby.
His visceral reaction. He had like a physical, like, stop it.
Watching them open it was wild.
It was hilarious.
They didn't have a knife, George.
You were gonna open it with a butcher knife.
They didn't have a knife, so they didn't have a way to open this deck that you usually use like a razor blade to like carefully open. So it was $80,000 for the deck. That's how much money the alpha starter was. And somebody did the math.
That's cheap.
He'd have to get 17 million views for the views to pay for the $80,000, and he made like I think $6,000 in cards was the TCG low value that they opened.
Anything good?
No.
Lightning bolt and a dark ritual.
Yeah. The commons were good, but the rares were complete trash.
Louis, I like to believe that you and I were lying in separate places watching the video, and we were connected in spirit at the same time watching this content.
I also,
as another Magic fan,
watching this movie.
I was just watching it while I was pooping in Iceland.
Yeah, me too. That's what I just said. Yeah, me too.
So, I was,
That's a really long poop. That is not a short video.
I watch it on fast speed.
Are you feeling okay? Do you need to see a physician?
Need some fiber.
Anyway, I think it was a big deal.
It's a huge deal. There's no argument this is not a big deal.
Absolutely. Enormous. Gigantic, gargantuan.
Cool. All right. I hope they pull those.
The professor at the professor's the biggest Magic creator, right?
Is he at $1 million? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd guess $1 million.
Like, this is of a scale that Magic's not even capable of being at on its own.
Rudy's 300,000.
Yeah. This is a massive deal. This is huge. And especially for transitioning people into like
100%.
recognizing vintage Magic.
And like we've seen what Logan Paul did for Pokemon, it worked out really well.
That's so different.
Such a wild misappropriation of what's going on.
Yeah, it's like so different.
What's the difference again?
Logan Paul bought like 3 cards, pumped a bunch of NFT scams, and sold a bunch of breaks. Like this
guy is opening the most recent standard set
just for himself. He's not selling any packs. He opened an.
He wanted to shuffle up $80,000 decks together and play them.
Yeah, I can go into the differences if you want me to go really into Logan Paul. I know you're a big fan of him, but.
It kind of sounds like you're on the side of Logan Paul here, George.
Yeah,
I think that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Logan Paul, Kanye West. You've got a history, man.
It's rough. It's rough, buddy.
You've got a history. Taylor Swift. I don't know. Who? Bob Iger.
Well, the GOAT.
Is it bad that we're friends with George? Is that a
yes?
Is this going to reflect poorly on me?
Do we need to take that out of our resume? All right, Magic went mainstream. It's over. Next, Modern Horizons 3. Everyone seems to have changed their tune a little bit on MH3.
This is a weird rotation from you.
Keep going, baby.
Change their tune. When were they negative on Modern Horizons 3?
There was a lot of pricing conversation. I don't know. Like people weren't like overly negative, but everyone seems to be excited about it now.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be the clear best set of the year, right? Like,
I don't know.
Hold on. What was going to be a more popular set than Modern Horizons 3?
Bloomburrow's gotten a lot of attention.
The Bloomburrow's not going to be a more popular set than Modern Horizons 3.
I don't think that I would say that it would, but I think there were people who were maybe like skeptical of how much to spend on MH3 to save money for Bloomburrow and other sets.
you could tell me, sure, there's probably people not in a meaningful number. Like there's one or two of them.
Yeah.
Modern Horizons 3 was always the shining beacon of 2024. Like the fact that things are coming down in price, I agree, has generated probably more interest and less like of a visceral reaction. But this was always going to be great. The difference is now we have the full set spoiled and it looks good. Like that's the big change here.
I still think I think you're underestimating how many people were upset about the price.
I think they still are. You could say pick a Magic product of this. Pick a Magic of 2024.
Right, I get it. Everyone's
there's,
always
there's
upset
people upset about the price.
People are definitely more excited this week than they were last week. Like people are, it's starting to get. I can tell you from pre-orders, I had basically nobody wanted to put money where their mouth was at all 3 weeks ago, and
well, you got the whole set spoiled now. Yeah,
this week I've gotten 50 messages from people. Hey, do you still have boxes available? I didn't pre-order, but do you have boxes available? Hey, do you have boxes available?
Yeah.
Like it's been insane how many people have reached out to me this week compared to literally all the time ahead of this.
I just think that's a trend as we approach any set. Like the closer you get, the more interest. The set is spoiled. You know everything that's going on. That's going to happen more and more. But like, okay, so you as a store who, would be safe to say you have MH3 bags? Are you?
I went huge, and like it's weird.
Rudy, you went nuclear.
Rudy's video this week makes me feel like I went way bigger than other stores went. Like his numbers, he did a video today where he was like, I don't think I'm going to get 1,000 boxes.
Right.
He was like, the average store is going to get 35 boxes or something.
I think he was talking collector boxes.
Yeah. Like I'm going to have, I have a lot more than that. Not the 1,000. I have a lot more than the 35.
Yeah, but buddy, I reached out to you about that. No,
I have a lot of boxes. You reach out to me after I already put my numbers in without any risk or anything. I think that I don't know. I don't know if maybe Rudy's numbers are different. I don't think it's as limited as Rudy's been.
So,
but
when you say you mean the collector box specifically?
That's all I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I teeter-totter on the fence with this one.
I hope it is. Let me be on the record. Pump those bags, Rudy. Listen, man. I put my entire business on Modern Horizon 3.
I don't think it's going to be Commander. I don't think it's going to be Commander Fallout Commander Limited. But I also don't think it's going to be standard set readily available where you can just get collector boxes for the longest time, right? I think you're going to probably fall somewhere in between, but also the demand is going to be much higher.
I don't personally think we're going to see I don't think I'll be able to get boxes of collector boxes again from distro.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think it's going to look a lot like Fallout. Like I think they probably got rid of all their boxes. Fallout, though, I mean, I got allocated to 6 boxes. Like I got nothing. I got 0 boxes basically.
That's what I'm saying. It makes sense for Modern Horizons 3 collector boxes.
I bet you I'm getting 20 times. I bet I'm getting 20 to 30 times as much MH3 than I did Fallout.
Yeah, and again, it's in my opinion, it should be more readily available than the Fallout Commander collector box. But I really do think it's going to be less than, the recent Wilds of Eldraine collector booster boxes. There's going to be less Modern Horizon 3 ones, or at least the same number with vastly more demand.
Which is crazy because those boxes did well for what they are, and this product is way better. Like this is a better product than Wilds of Eldraine. This is probably a better product than Lost Caverns of Ixalan, which is
100%. But it's not. It costs more, and it's a premium product, right? So that makes sense. But this is going to be the best product of 2024. It's not like 2023 when it was like we all thought it was going to be Commander Master, and then Lord of the Rings kind of hit and really took off and kind of was able to claim that spot. This is the clear-cut winner here. It's not even close.
In addition, there's not the competition that Commander Masters had.
Right.
I did a video about it last week where this is the Lord of the Rings set from last year. This is where all the attention and detail is without Commander Masters coming up, without the Wilds of Eldraine reprint set that happened kind of right before it, or after it.
It was after, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think this is just my opinion. What do you think? Is this a better product than Commander Masters? Because I think it very clearly is.
yeah, it's it's not a reprint set. I think one of the problems of Commander Masters was price. The other problem was that it was wedged between like Lord of the Rings, where everybody spent so much money, and Wilds of Eldraine, which had so many of the same cards that were printed in Commander Masters. Some of the big key reprints were in Wilds of Eldraine. And then the price issue and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a good set. This is gonna be
it's gonna be insane. Now I don't like that they included Commander here. We've had this conversation. We've memed on me long enough. Like, listen, it's gonna sell so many boxes.
I mean, like, I kind of like that they stopped avoiding, like, they always included Commander. Like MH2 included Commander. They just didn't. They were like,
no. Yeah,
like
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But like the Commander decks and the precons, and the way I've started to view it is that's Wizards out of the box play experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And to have that in their tentpole set of the year, it's not the worst thing. Yeah. Giant tentpole, massive tentpole, the biggest.
I do think
tentpole I need is Give It to Me by Booster Snacks, though.
I do think we will see a significant drop in price.
That is a tentpole snack if I've ever seen one.
I think we will see a significant drop in price over the next week and a half. I agree with Rudy's video kind of went in that, but I agree with that take. Because I do think
especially the play booster box.
I know some stores who didn't think they were going to get as many as they actually got, and they will 100% just be trying to get their money back because they need the cash flow, that kind of thing.
Are those stores GameGrove.gg?
No, like I'm not doing it. Like I'm in, baby. Like I am.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
I am in. I'm not.
I've never been so out in my life. I was in until that sentence. I was in until that sentence. I've seen your touch of death before, Louis. So has certain volcanoes.
Yeah, shout out to a whole country.
Louis goes to a country. Boop, catches on fire.
Okay, first of all, Iceland knew that the volcano was happening. They've been planning for it. And
they just happened to exactly coincide with your visit.
Not only exactly coincide, I was in the air when it went off. When we landed,
it was trying to get you.
When we landed, everybody was pulling up their phones, and all the Icelandic people on our plane were like, "The volcano erupted! It was crazy!" Blah blah blah.
So, like, what do you think it says? Like, your touch of death has like now tarnished an entire country.
I don't know.
Now, and
like you killing indie TCGs, we're used to that. That we've seen now for years.
They're fine. They're fine.
They're just have a volcano going on.
Okay, so I went to Iceland. That's where I was last week.
I thought it was a family thing.
It was a family thing. It was my 10-year anniversary.
Family.
It was my 10-year anniversary with my wife. I surprised her with a trip to Iceland. Yeah, 100%.
Did you think he was like going to the grocery store and you were like, "Gotcha, we're going to Iceland"?
I surprised her 6 months ago.
Oh yeah, you were like, "Come on, honey, we're going to Publix."
Shout out Publix,
dude. That place is crazy. They have 32 active volcanoes.
Oh, I thought you meant Publix.
No,
I was like, I love Publix. I
guess just the deli sector.
They are ready for a volcano. They don't. They also, there's like the volcanoes happening. They're like, the police suggest that you don't go near it. There's no like police stopping you from going and like putting your hand into the volcano.
Okay, but like hold on.
Like United States, they'd have like the whole roads will be blocked. That's
like, the West Virginia special right there, baby.
Hold on.
That's West Virginia special.
They're just like, hey,
society doesn't need the "don't jump into the lava" sign. Like,
I feel like United States needs that. Like
100%, I'm with Louis, and that's very rare.
They would like set up barricades. Like we would have a whole barricade.
Living in society is wild. What do you guys deal with on the day-to-day?
They're just like, don't go by it. We went on a ATV tour, and we went on these beaches. It's a whole thing. They were like, there's like the tour guide was like, there's these things called sneaker waves or sneaky waves. He's like, you can't go close to the water because at any
sneaky links, like what's going on here?
He's like, at any point the waves can like pop up and it will just wash you to shore. And he goes, I will not go after you. You will die. That's it. Like he was just like,
Well, because he's not gonna die. Like,
yeah,
what?
there's no waiver. There's no like. It's just.
That's an America thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
the waiver and the insurance and the lawsuit, that's very Americanized. I get that.
Like they're not worried about that. They're just like, if you go in the water, a shark will eat you and you will die. That's it. Like, don't go in the water. It's crazy.
So knowing that about their country and how dangerous everything is, are they the next country to produce an indie TCG? Because that seems to be the only place that they come from, is places where you're going to die at any given moment.
Not enough spiders.
It was beautiful though. Anyway, I'm all in on Modern Horizons 3. So.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
And I wired my money like the day before I left for my trip, so I had the entire. No, it's great. It was perfect because like I wired the money and basically all my money. Not gonna lie. Made sure I had enough for payroll this month. Wired all my money and then left on vacation.
This month.
And it's great. Like I'm telling you guys right now, like I typically would have been. Like for you guys saw this for Lord of the Rings Special Edition. I was
and Brothers War.
I was
Brothers of War
and Infinity.
I was a train wreck. I'm not doing that this time. I'm cool as a cucumber. This set's gonna be.
I've survived a volcano. What can a magic release do?
He caused the volcano. He didn't survive the volcano. He created the volcano.
This set's gonna be completely fine.
He literally caught a country on fire, then bailed. He pumped and dumped an entire country.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really good. Or
I'll wish I had jumped in the volcano.
Or in 6 months, we might get to start our other podcast we always talk about.
The volcano podcast?
I don't know, the anything else podcast.
I'm in.
That should be the name.
Anything else? Anything but trading card games.
I took the volcano.
Anything but trading card games. A not TCG
I took the
podcast.
volcano. My hand hurts. Y'all remember that South Park episode where the volcano came out and they had to duck underneath the desk and you see their skeletons get carried away by the lava?
I've seen every episode of South Park. I don't remember that.
That's an old episode. That's OG.
Yeah. Well, I guess you've not seen every episode.
I have. I just don't remember it.
That follows.
Dude, I used to watch South Park every night.
All the time.
God,
it's so good.
It was so good.
That and The Office are like my
The
falling
best
show. And now BoJack Horseman, for whatever reason, BoJack Horseman's.
I can see you being depressed enough to like that now.
Dude, BoJack Horseman. I watched that in the pandemic. It was bad. Yeah.
You cannot watch that in the pandemic.
This explains a lot of the Kitchen Table TCG lore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. BoJack Horseman did a number on me for sure. All right, Modern Horizons 3. Rudy,
Archer's now on Netflix again.
I know.
Have you seen Archer?
I have. Yeah, Archer's.
Oh
so
my
good.
god, Archer is so good.
So good.
The problem with Archer is like every season feels the same.
So
It
I don't think
gets
that's
boring.
true. I
There's
think
no problem with Archer. The last couple seasons where
the last 3 seasons are rough.
Yeah, that's my point. Like up to
They're
season
rough.
7, it's pretty.
Anytime you have a statement, I cannot stop drinking. The collective hangover may kill me. You've got a show. Like you have a whole show just around that.
Okay, we know Rudy watches the podcast, so to Rudy, please keep pumping Modern Horizons 3. We're all in. We're all in.
We're all in, baby. Hold on, George. We need you to tell us why Modern Horizons 3 is going to be a massive failure and flop, because it's not fun when we all agree.
I know nothing about the set. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, George is in La La Land.
I have no clue.
Listen,
George,
the magic
you
topics
could be
are better
the
when
guest
George
for
is
the
on.
post-magic segment.
Yeah.
I have no clue about the set at all. I know there's serialized fetch lands, but then somebody said you guys were fat liars, so now I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, Rudy said there wasn't serialized fetch lands in his video today, and that caught me off guard because I was.
Wait, did Rudy say we're fat liars? Because then we might be fat
But then
liars.
I was like, Rudy could easily be as wrong as George is. Like,
100%.
That's
That's
totally
what makes
true.
Rudy kind of so great. He's George, but successful.
He also said play boxes had 24 packs, so like
How many packs do they have?
definitely 36.
Is that true?
Yes. Anyway, let's move on from Magic. That's enough. Thanks, Magic people. We love you. All right, sorcery. Sorcery, big weekend in the sorcery world. There are 2 major.
I got to meet Simon.
Yes, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was in beautiful Austin. Shout out to the incredible restaurants I went to in Austin and the wonderful host of me in Austin.
What was your favorite food in Texas?
You know what? I'm going to say is part of it. I'm sure was the company where Steve, Simon, and I went. Was called a restaurant called Perry's. I mean this. I think it was the best pork chop I've ever had in my life.
Pork
It
chop?
was a carved table side, bone in, big hunkin' pork chop. I will say I did not finish it. Steve and I had about 3 pounds of meat about 3 hours earlier. So like maybe we didn't plan that correctly. That might be the best piece of pork I've ever had in my life. It was unbelievable. That was a really good restaurant. They have a sister restaurant, Carve, that was really good. Steve is a great cook. It was great. I had a great time in Austin. Great to meet Simon. Could not have been nicer. And and Simon, I want you to know.
Did they ban
you?
you?
Did they ban you? Are you banned?
No, he did not ban me.
Before I left for Iceland, all I knew was this. Simon wanted to meet with me when I was in Texas. And I was like, oh, this is it, baby. We're here. We are at the point of the season.
He told me the print run numbers and the secret code. I told him I would not release the print run numbers, even though I now obviously know them. I have all the spoilers for Arthurian Legends. I won't share them. Don't worry, Simon. I got your back. Thank you for all the scoopies. I won't share with anybody.
Simon, we need you to ban him. We need the content.
I want you to know, right. George, I'm a big fan of sorcery. You know this.
I do know this.
I am a better friend.
Even though I will say that's not what I hear later in this show, I believe. But continue.
I am a better friend to you than I am a fan of sorcery. If they ban you, I'm Team George. I will never leave Team George.
Did you just talk about how good of a friend you are? I don't know if you get to make that call.
No, I'm a great friend.
I'm also a great content creator. Have you heard about my video that has 10 million views? In all seriousness, Simon could not have been nicer. We had a good discussion. He was friendly. There's no you know what's funny? We both behaved like adults. He understands that I think the market for sorcery is stupid. I think the game is good, and he thinks that's okay. He can have his own opinion, and that's fine. I don't know his opinion on the secondary market. He didn't share it. And what he didn't do, be like, oh, you said something mean. Where? Let me.
You know what's even more comforting is you both have your own opinion, and he has the ability to look you in the eye and say, yeah, well, I help run the game, so my opinion matters. Thanks for giving me your input.
And
I'm going to go do what's best for sorcery. Bye.
Absolutely. It's called actually believing in what you do versus being a sensitive little whiny punk. It's like, if you actually believe in what you're producing, you don't need to bully and be mean to people who have a different opinion. I don't care that Josh is mean.
Background. George, why didn't you tell me you were going to do this?
Oh, yeah.
I don't care that Josh is mean to Tay because I know I'm right.
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you warn me?
Wow. I did not expect this.
I did not see this coming.
I thought we were going to talk about.
I have legitimate beef with Simon, and I did not see this coming.
What's your beef with Simon? I put it up to him.
But he taunted me. He literally taunted me.
No, I support that though.
When did he taunt you?
Wait, you changed your background.
Sorcery made a post on their official channel about collecting the game, and they have sharks that I don't have, and they used that as the image, and they taunted me. You're going down, Simon. You're going down.
I'd be honored.
You're going down.
Okay, so sorcery is going to Essen. So they are debuting Arthurian Legends in not America, and I am not team that.
Can I ask why you support games that actively go against American interests? Like they release boxes to Canada.
I'm a little bit sad, not gonna lie.
I'm assuming you're going to Essen, right?
No, I want to do a West Virginia release event and have people play the game.
Wait, Louis, you gotta go to Essen. If you're a real fan, you'll go to Essen.
I think you should go.
If you were a real fan, you'd go to Essen.
You're Sorcery's #1 content creator.
I'm a big fan of Lorcana. I go to Disney World.
He does. He stands there
several times
in the
since
corner.
we've been on this podcast.
I've gotten the call from the police to come pick him up.
I'm already going to Gen Con and I'm going to Baltimore.
That's not where they're releasing the boxes, though, Louis.
Well,
congratulations. You're going where they don't release boxes.
You did make a good point. Provided you make it out of Baltimore, you should go to Essen.
That's a good point. Don't take the boat.
They are too successful. They're doing too many events. They need to just do one. I can't go to everything.
Just go to Essen. If you were a real fan. Oh, so Essen's. I want you to know if I were to ever go to a game fair and enjoy it, it would be Essen.
Is this just really like the non-American version of Gen Con?
No, because it's actually fun. It's where they release all the board games.
Yeah, so it's the non-American version of Gen Con.
No,
Louis,
it's
I think you nailed it.
it's
It sounds
enormous.
That's exactly what it is.
Essen
It
is
sounds an awful
enormous.
lot like you nailed it.
Essen is enormous.
So is Gen Con, though.
Gen
Gen
Con
Con
is
is,
small, George.
Gen Con is a massive thing. And I'm guessing the American version of it is bigger. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm guessing that
Apparently,
the,
Sorcery doesn't agree with you. Sorcery doesn't agree with you at all.
but didn't they have like an issue with Gen Con? Like, weren't maybe like I don't know. I think there was some issue with Gen Con. Anyway, Essen.
Okay, I want to apologize to you guys. Essen is only 3 times as big. I apologize. So I apologize to him. I apologize.
I don't believe your fat fingers.
It's 193,000 to 70,000.
Essen is 100.
Boom.
193,000.
Boom.
How? What?
Like, is it the population of the town?
I googled how many people go to Essen Spiel. Wait, that might be the city.
You know how, without looking at it,
Absolutely
I was able to pinpoint
Absolutely right.
just Googling.
According to toyworldmag.co.uk,
Oh,
193,000 people attended.
the town?
Boom!
The town?
193,000 people will be there, but not Louis. Allegedly, Sorcery's #1 fan.
No, #1 content creator.
It is the world's biggest board game fair.
Say it one more time, Louis. I forgot. I cut out for a second.
It says that right there. It's from Reddit, so you know that it's real.
If
George
you don't say it, I don't believe it.
Post. That's what he was typing. That's what he was typing.
Anyway, Sorcery is going to release Arthurian Legends at Essen, and then
Are we going to speculate about it or no?
in Vegas. And I can't go to either of these because I have to be at my amazing local game store running events. We will also have a lame duck West Virginia party with like 30 people, whoever show up. Whoever's not going to one of those.
Do not plan on staying at Louis' house, even if he invites you for the release party. I've made that mistake with Ursula.
So we were gonna do a stream, we were gonna have fun, and now this actual fun's happening. So we can't do anything.
George, you want to open some stuff on stream with me?
Yeah.
I'll fly you out, and by that I mean I'll send you a link where you can book a ticket.
Now we're talking. It's more than Louis did.
You can drive to me.
I will legitimately pick you up from the airport.
All right,
Louis would do.
what are we speculating on? Print runs?
We can do that. We can do.
Yeah, listen, I'm all in on getting banned.
Go print run. I was going with what kind of cards we're gonna have, but maybe I'm in.
So all right, so back row seems to be pretty important so far. They keep
Back row team's enormous in the set.
all the cards spoiled so far have had.
Wait, so Louis, for those listeners who are not as in tune with Sorcery as you and I obviously are, why don't you explain to them what the back row is?
So the back row is your starting row of where
Yeah.
your sorcerer starts the game because it's a grid system. So any one of the back 5 sections.
If you're a listener and didn't get that yet, I think George is just insulting you. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That was pretty on the nose.
Oh,
I
didn't get
apologize
that.
to all of you.
Who are you insulting, me or the listeners?
The listeners.
Oh, that's fair. They
Tell me about
listen
your
to
video
our-
again, Louis.
They listen to our podcast.
Tell me about your video again, Louis.
Anyway, so I mean, it seems like back row is a big mechanic. That's all we really know. I'm kind of the proponent that the Arthurian theme is going to be less than people think it is.
I think it's gonna be more.
Really?
No.
Is that because of what you talked to Simon about?
No, but I could have asked that.
You probably didn't even know it was Arthurian themed.
I did know that.
I think that they're going to want to lean in. I think they're going to want to lean into the idea that like the story is made by the players. Like it's not like a shoehorned thing. So I think it's going to be less Arthurian than people think it's going to be. I might be wrong. It is called Arthurian Legends. So
What an amazing take all of this is.
Did you just take all the takes?
no,
I think it's going to lean less into Arthurian Legends, but it might not because that's called.
I'm saying I know how wild that speculation is.
I respect that.
Is there a
Typical
lot of
hat theory.
speculation
I'm
about
into
how Arthurian the set's going to be? I have not seen
Well,
the
like the
speculation.
assumption is that it's going to be almost all Arthurian legend themes, right? Like
I think that's like, I'm going to be honest with you, Louis. think that's for a good reason.
Hold on. You know my real take is that Arthurian Legends isn't the name of the set, and they're going to do a switch on release.
God, am I going to break that story?
Call it Kingdoms or you're a coward.
Am I going to break the story? God, are we all the way back? Is
God,
it the episode?
I have trust issues because of that. That
The
is
title of this episode is
Playmat-
just "We're back, baby." We're
Playmats
so
for
back.
5K. We're changing set names. We're speculating on print runs.
We're so back. There's $5,000 playmats. We're so back. 6-figure tournament foils.
Louis, do you think that Sorcery will learn to love America by set 3, or do you think that's gonna be like a 2030 thing?
What do you mean learn to love America?
And at what
So
point
far they've
don't
given
you
boxes to
understand the
Canada,
overseas market?
done set releases in Germany. I've noticed a distinct lack of freedom in their release plans.
I mean, I think that it should all be in West Virginia. So this is, I don't know. You done? I think it's interesting. I think Essence. I didn't realize that was the biggest one in the world. Neither did you until you looked it up.
I know. I told you it wasn't. I was doubted.
You know what I hate
told
the
you it
most?
was. I was doubted.
You know what
Never doubt my prowess.
You know what I hate the most is that the why wasn't in America is Georgia's take, and I was trying to beat him to it because I thought that's where he would go, and he pivoted so well.
I'm good at content, baby. I might not be good at much. I got content. I got content in this veins.
What rank is your Magic video?
That's true. I don't have that 10 million video. Louis, I'm really proud of you. You're a good friend.
You fat fingered your way into success, and that makes me so mad.
I know it does. It makes me even happier that it makes you so mad.
Yeah, I know.
That's the worst part for you.
We also though have Vegas, which is a huge event coming. I think it's the week after. Hold on, I put it in our notes somewhere.
Are you going to that at least?
No, because that's the actual release. I think so. It's hard the way that they have not.
It's hard for me to take you seriously
It's hard
as a Sorcery content creator or fan where you don't support the game. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
Listen, if they would come out and tell us what the release day of the set is before they have the announcement of these events, that would be a lot easier. Because I don't know when they say that it's being debuted at Essen, and then at Vegas they will have product available. If you're wanting to get your hands on Arthurian Legends product or play in various formats, what better way than SorceryCon, which is November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Josh, we should go to SorceryCon together.
So
that would be.
Josh,
can we
need to go to SorceryCon?
Can we shoot an in-person May the Zoo be with you from SorceryCon?
Except for Louis.
So,
Gosh, we should go to Essen.
Hold on. Who hates that more, Louis or Sorcery?
I'm a little bit frustrated right now because I'm trying to be negative with Sorcery really hard. I'm trying really hard to look at this from not rose-colored glasses of my usual bias. And instead, you guys are making fun of my...
Hold on. Trying to give your back a break. Relax, big boy. You'll be fine. You can carry that water every time you want. Josh, we need to go to Essen.
I'm in. If we're going to Germany, I'm in.
Well,
if we all go, I'll go to Germany.
I have gone to a game convention before for a game that I was not, that the community was a little divided on me on. I will say it was a lot of fun. Both the love and the hate, all fun.
I'd be down for Germany because I hear the beer is very good.
I'm in. If we're going to Germany, I will do whatever I need to. Not November 1st to the 3rd, because that's when Vegas is. Use your fat fingers and look it up. What do you want from me? I'm going to go back to complaining because we don't know the official set release yet. But the words say November 1st to 3rd. Come experience the North American.
Did you just say
event,
the words say?
Celebrating the set release of Arthurian Legends.
October 3rd through 6th.
So is 1st through 3rd the release of Arthurian Legends? Is that how you guys read that?
I do not read that way.
I was too busy Googling what Essen was to hear you.
I do not read that way. They're going to have things available at that event, whether it's a super early pre-release. I don't really read that as a commitment to releasing that weekend.
Okay.
How long is the fight from?
If I knew as a fact that I wasn't going to have any product before going to Vegas, I'd be all in on going to Vegas. So I'm kind of all in on going to Vegas almost any time that happens.
Yeah, me too.
Same. I'm like, I'll make an excuse. I'll make it work to go to
Wow,
Vegas.
flights are super cheap.
To Vegas or Essen?
Essen.
Oh, I'm kind of in on Vegas just because Vegas is a good time.
That's fine. I'll go to Essen by myself. Me and
You're not
hang
going
out.
to either of these.
No.
Yeah, let's not be crazy.
I hate leaving my house.
Yeah, you're not going to. If we could get George to go to one, I'd make it happen for either one. But I want to do a release event online with everybody and stream a bunch of boxes open.
I got bamboozled by you twice now.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm.
Louis, am I
No,
your partner in
Lucy,
crime?
you
Are we
won't
opening
pull the
40
football the
boxes
third
together?
time.
Are we opening 40 cases? You and me?
You want to open 40 cases? Let's
Oh
do it,
yeah,
man.
I'm in.
You're gonna buy 40 cases of sorcery?
Oh no, I'm gonna open your 40 cases.
No, you're definitely not.
40 cases?
If I was gonna have somebody open any product for me, it would be Moore. My manager Moore has
Yeah,
the
he's
luckiest
got a hot hand.
dude. That guy,
Hot hand.
it is insane.
He's
I
like
don't
the
know.
Bob Iger of store managers.
That's 100% true.
My box opening skills are literally exactly whatever the declared rates are. It's super boring.
Mine
It's
is
so boring.
trash, bad, terrible.
But at least that makes for good content. Mine is exactly what you expect all the time.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Anyway, tons of Arthurian Legends at the Vegas event, which is Sorcery Con. On Saturday there will be a draft and sealed main event of Arthurian Legends with a top cut, which is draft on Sunday. So that'll be live streamed.
That's the weekend of the 3rd, and there's a draft.
What do you mean?
You said they're gonna have like what way to experience the product is the Vegas Con, right?
Yeah.
But then you said there's like a draft. It's not just like starter decks, a play example, some spoiler.
No, you're confused.
Release.
You're confused. This is my point. In Essen, they're gonna have the debut. They're calling it a debut.
Right. And in Vegas, they're gonna have. They just said product.
Vegas, it says come experience the North American community event celebrating the set release of Arthurian Legends.
Then that definitely sounds like the release.
So that's the release of Arthurian Legends.
Well, it says come celebrate the set release.
Well, it could be celebrating it after it's been released. Does it say they still haven't come out and said that that's the release day for the set, unless you guys are reading it that way, which seems like maybe you are.
Based on maybe I just listened for the first time, that sounds like they're announcing it as the release.
Okay,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. If there's listen, I only care about the number of sharks in the product anyway. So. Actually, maybe I'm collecting something new.
I think you should just put all the money that you would spend on Arthurian Legends into alpha foil sharks.
I can't. The market's pumped. I gotta let it settle.
Because you get on this podcast every week and
I gotta let the water settle. I gotta let the feeding frenzy die down, baby.
It's not gonna settle.
It's gotta settle. It's gotta settle. As Sorcery's 17th most popular content creator.
Seems like then November 1st is the release of Arthurian Legends. That seems like what you guys are going with.
We're done. That's it. We have declared it. Period.
Simon, did you know that we were going to decide your release on this podcast?
That's what you said. You just like you
well,
said,
yeah, no, listen, I believe I had that power. That sounds like me.
Okay.
How many views does your Magic video have, Josh?
How many views does your sorcery video have?
It's not the number one.
That would be you should get the number one sorcery viewed content. You should be your shark.
It's just a Rudy style video with ominous music panning over all my sharks.
All right. The other thing is that we talk about Pixelborn being dead here next in the Lorcana section, and in the Pixelborn.
Hi, Donald. Thanks for joining us. We'll get to you 1 second.
In the Pixelborn section, when he announced that the Lorcana hates players and that they're killing Pixelborn, they have an engine sorcery that is ready for demo decks and might be released, which is super interesting.
That would be super interesting.
Why?
Well, I know you have pumped sorcery and I have pumped Lorcana. We'll see which one has more gameplays after a few months. I think it'll be interesting data to see. Which one do you think would win, Louis?
Lorcana will win. Well, actually, if we start it,
we'll see. Could be close.
If we start it with the release of the sorcery one, I think the sorcery one will win.
I think there might be still more pirate Lorcana players.
But there seems to be some potential that we will see some sort of cool online. I don't think it will happen either.
I think the guy from Pixelborn has a really tough decision to make.
So, don't
Why?
you think that Pixelborn?
I think he's picking really weird games to make these games of. Like going for Lorcana with Disney IP seems like a really great way to get shit down, as we've seen. Then being like, nope, never mind. I'm going to go to Star Wars, a Disney property that also has Lucasfilm also Googling you, maybe even stranger. Then being like, I know, I'll go to Sorcery, whose owner does. Oh, that's right. Was a key member of a AAA game, video game. Like, why would they go with this
He's
guy?
trying to get hired.
Then just go then talk to them. Like
At this point, he could just get hired. Like Pixelborn,
yeah, I
I
do not understand. Or go get hired by a separate game altogether. That call Tanner.
No, Tanner doesn't have any money.
I don't I think he needs to find a game that would be more welcoming of his services. That's how I'll phrase it.
So I think Sorcery fits exactly that description that you just defined.
Yeah, I do.
I think these digital clients,
even though they're scam, right, Louis,
don't have a place in these massive games. The Lorcanas, your Star Wars, your Magic, your fan-made digital clients are going to get shut down because it's run by a big company. A big company is going to sniff you out and sooner or later decide it's maybe it's just too much of a risk to have you out there using their stuff. Indies, however, really thrive with fan-made projects, and that's an element that the company can offload to the community as long as it's handled properly. I think it exists in a good space. I think Sorcery is the one that makes sense here.
I think if Eric hadn't worked for a AAA game, I'd feel a lot more optimistic. But I bet you he could do his own client, and he certainly has a Rolodex full of people who can make a real client for him.
He 100% can, and if he goes that route one day, but
why would he use this? Why would he use this guy?
But he won't. But everything we've seen from Sorcery is they have no interest in that. They really seem tied to the collectibility, the paper, the physical product, the old school TCG feel. I don't really feel like they have any interest in leaning into that.
I am still very heavy on Team Sorcery needs an online client.
I think it does, but I don't think they have to own it as long as it's handled with respect.
I agree with that. I agree with your logic of that they would be fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with your logic that they would hire him after making it and adapt that. I think
I think
at some point they would probably utilize Eric's AAA resources to make a title like that. And then at that point it's like, why would this guy, if he knows that or he's aware of that, why would he even pursue putting the time and effort into it?
Well, listen, sometimes we programmers build stuff that doesn't really have an end game just because we think it's cool. We just build stuff we like.
Yeah, I don't get that.
He's also got a Patreon and a whole
no passions.
He's got a Patreon and a whole following and stuff too. So he's looking to maybe introduce and keep feeding that need. So there's a ton of reasons why.
I don't know. Is he making money? I thought he wasn't making money off of Pixel.
He made his Patreon is significant, I think.
Yeah, but he was using it for operating costs, and I think he made a statement in there saying we're going to put out a poll, and whatever's left over that was going to be used for server operating costs and everything is being donated to charity. I don't think he's pocketing it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have the post pulled up in front of me, but I think
he needs to find a game that's willing to partner with him and then build that game versus build a game that pray they partner with him.
I don't think you do. I think the indie is the perfect
keep getting shut down. Then, that's the other option is to keep continuously being shut down.
If he does a big game, then yes. Star Wars. If he releases the Star Wars engine, that gets shut down 100%.
Eventually, Sorcery is going to shut him down when Sorcery decides to do their online client. That's the point. Star
Wars decides to do an online client within the next 3 years. When does Sorcery decide it? I don't think they move as fast. I don't think they have the need.
Well, they have less sets per year that they need to program, so hypothetically it could go faster.
But programming the sets is not the overwhelming issue.
Why can't Magic get
Reddit might tell you?
Then why can't Magic get all their cards into the game?
Because the slower they release things, the more they keep you hanging on and spending money on the random shit that comes. Yes. No, yes, that's actually how that works.
I think more people leave because there's no reason to play Arena. Because you can't play Commander, which is the only format people care about.
The only reason to play Commander is a social experience.
That's
Playing
unfair.
Commander with no chat would be the worst experience known to man.
They would add chat. I still think.
No,
No, they
Don't
would
do it.
not. You
Don't
did.
do
That's a whole new beast. Moderating a chat. Ugh. I'm out.
Oh,
Anyway,
there's also a MetaZoom minute this week that we got to add in for the sorcery segment, for the Kokana segment.
there's not a measurement.
There's not a MetaZoom minute.
No.
Well, they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, but then you said all their numbers were wrong.
No. Well, they might be wrong. I don't know that, but like they filed for bankruptcy.
Spoiler alert. We said that 6 months ago.
Cool. All right. Is that the end of the sorcery? We had Star Wars numbers. We got Star Wars numbers. They're not great. There's not that many boxes.
Well, only Asmodee, not
Yeah,
Southern.
Asmodee has boxes. You should start seeing pre-orders go up. We're doing the way we're doing our pre-orders is only people who have been playing in store will get opportunity to buy boxes. It's rough, and you're not getting boxes. No,
What are they doing? Like they had 8. They were told they weren't gonna. They said they had to wait to print more boxes, and they didn't print more boxes.
Yeah. This is
I'm shocked by this.
Yeah.
well, this is where Ravensburger succeeded, where they're failing, right? This was the criticism of Ravensburger, and I don't want to hear. I did content about that this week actually, and I got a ton of pushback. You don't understand. They said it's going to be hard. Even Ravensburger said it was painful. I said I don't care. I understand it's hard. I understand it's painful. There's things that need to be done to make it happen, but you need to make it happen. Your game has to be available.
Get Bob Iger on this case.
These
And they
boxes
dropped
are
the ball.
also the allocation has to sustain stores through August, is what they've said.
Yes.
Wait, through August?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They're dropping.
Until
They're
August.
dropping the ball.
Until August. Yeah, there's not going to be a reset.
Yeah. 100% dropping the ball on this.
Yeah, it's bad.
This was our criticism of Lorcana, and Lorcana said, "Whoa, we're going to move heaven and earth and get this printed."
Oh, Fantasy Flight couldn't pull it off.
Hold on.
So good.
You thought Fantasy Flight was going in the opposite direction. You explicitly said you thought Fantasy
said they're
Flight
giving
was
too many
printing this
boxes.
thing into the ground. You didn't see this coming, buddy. And nobody saw them saying, "Hey, we're going to swing the other way and print nothing."
Listen, I'm Team George is wrong here, but George was also. I agree that Team George was wrong. It's also not better.
No. But I'm saying before he tries to put on his crown and take credit, he
He's
guessed
not-
wrong too.
Let me translate the Georgism that's happening. Look, he's just happy that something's failing. He's not happy that he's succeeding. This is
Well, because he's not succeeding. He guessed just as wrong as everyone else.
Not quite as wrong as everybody else. I was pretty clear this game was going to flop, and like they were going to figure this out. Called that one right. I called the direction wrong.
I think
games are known to
here-
do really.
This is
well
going to
with
hurt the
no
game.
boxes.
The game doesn't flop, but this is going to hurt Star Wars.
so. What we don't know is what the restock of Wave 1 of Set 1 looks like. My rep, I asked for
Too late.
a lot of boxes.
Everybody will. That's the problem. Like the numbers
Yeah.
no longer mean anything.
But my rep was like, "Are you sure you want to do that? Because you might get it." And I was like, "Listen, if I actually get that, I understand everything's dead, but I'm still all in. Not Modern Horizons 3 all in, but I'm all in."
You're all in on a lot of things at once, which makes me believe that you don't understand the definition of all in.
Well, I mean, if I actually get 5,000 boxes of Set 1, then I think I'm actually all in.
If you actually get 5,000 boxes of that one, you're just a Star Wars distributor at this point.
I didn't put it for 5,000. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, because that will tell us what their plans are, right? For reprinting and resupply and whatever. But numbers were not great. It's about the same total number of boxes that I got for Set 1, which wasn't
and only being available to stores, like to not print this enough to get it into new stores, it's just a failure. Like you gotta
what we don't know yet, like that's Asmodee's number. What we don't know yet is how many boxes Southern's getting, which is the second distro.
Yeah, but those are all going to be gobbled up by stores that already had the game. You're not getting any new doors there.
Yeah.
And it's just like Lorcana. This is a product that does well on the shelf because you walk in and it catches your eye. Everybody knows what it is. Everyone knows what Disney is. It catches your eye. And to not have this available on shelves, just a failure.
Yeah. The pre-release kits and starter decks are basically print to order, though, is what I'm told. So,
and sure, that gets you so far, but we've seen this with Lorcana, and we see this with Lorcana sales. Like the starter kits are necessary in the first set. The second set, they dwindle a little bit. By the third set, man, you're not selling starter decks, and because the people who want to learn to play have learned to play, and now the avenue to learn to play is no longer buy a starter deck with your friend. It's you've got someone teaching you to play.
Right. I agree, but it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens.
God. The problem is they got to fix it quick.
If you have an LGS of which you can buy boxes at MSRP and you care about Star Wars, I would just go ahead and buy your boxes from your LGS at MSRP and not worry about it. There might be like a dip at some point. Like set 1 was available for $90 from a lot of different places.
It was available for a long time for cheap.
Yeah. But all right, let's transition over to Lorcana.
George,
Donald, how are you doing?
We in this, boys. Let's go, Lorcana. Good transition, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, Donald.
Like a soccer player.
George, can you give us the welcome for Donald?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Welcome to May This Be With You, America's most favorite Lorcana segment. We are, of course, joined by both Louie and I's best friend together, Donald.
Joint best friends. Sorry, Josh. I don't.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, I love you too, Donald.
Me and Donald have a very long history, Josh,
of beef.
Yeah.
Of beef. Want to explain that beef, Louie?
Yeah, you and Donald hate each other.
Yeah, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Donald, do you feel that in your heart?
Donald is one of the longest viewers of the podcast. I don't.
Were you there during the early days, during season 1?
No, he wasn't.
Of 2?
That was a total lie. But Donald is one of the most verbal feedback people in my life for the podcast. Most of the time, very negative. Most of the time,
I like to call it constructive.
I don't think that Donald has ever given me a compliment on the podcast, which makes him a good friend.
Last week, I said I put you in my will, even though you said I wasn't in your will.
Wait, what's Louie getting your will?
He gets my masterpiece Soul Ring.
Just in time for a new, more valuable one.
And I'm 100% serious. It's actually in my will. My mom made me get a will, and it's actually in there that you get my masterpiece Soul Ring.
Love it. Can't wait to sell that. All right.
You're the best friend. Wow.
How much is a masterpiece Soul Ring worth?
Like $500.
Like, yeah.
It's funny because when he won it traded in, it was worth like $900 or $750.
I've been there, Donald. I've been there, Donald.
I made him a great deal for it, and now it's not worth what I would have given. Yes, it is. Stop it.
I tried to get you
cases of first chapter.
It was $1,200.
Oh my
and
God,
I tried to sell it to you for $900, and you said no.
That's the Louie I know.
Yeah.
So Donald, can I ask you? I don't really care about this part of the segment so much. I have questions about Louie's store. I want to explain to you how I think Louie's store goes, and I want you to tell me if I'm right or not. Is that fair?
Always.
So you know how, like in North Korea, they have like Kim Jong Un and like Kim Il Sung, right?
Sure.
And you have to bow to them every time you enter.
Okay.
In my head, he has a picture of Eric and Simon at the back of the store, but he's photoshopped on dumbass backwards hats that don't block the sun, like Dumb Biscuit, and you have to like bow down to both Eric and Simon before you enter. Is that true or not true?
Well, that would also imply that someone in the store plays sorcery.
You've been there on Friday nights for a long time. We play every Friday night.
He's busy with those spicy margs, man. Back
off.
The
lies are unraveling.
We play every Friday night.
Every Friday night, me and my friend.
Donald, what you don't realize is by starting here in the podcast, we've now made Louie upset for the rest of the episode.
Right.
So, complete and utter fabrication by Donald.
So the other part of Louie's story, I believe, is that he, the show Survivor, where you have to like tamp out all the flames of all the extinguished guests. He has that for all the TCGs that he's helped kill. So like, in order to enter the store, you're like,
hey, hold on. Before
We
you
helped
keep
kill.
going,
We helped kill.
before you keep going, Donald
I got-
has a YouTube channel, Scruffy Looking Gaming, in which he, in your words, pumped the hell out of Cryptic.
Yeah.
So that's
I
not.
got burned pretty hard by Cryptic too.
Oh,
So.
Me too, brother.
You
So is
pulled
it like, hi, Tanner? Your flame has been extinguished.
He pulled
Hello,
a frog.
Assad.
Donald.
I did.
pulled a-
If I had not pulled the frog and immediately sold the frog, I would have got burned a lot harder by Cryptic.
I got
But
my bridges burned. And
I
I might have
tried-
gotten
I
just
tried
burning
to-
Cryptic more than Metazoo.
I was
I tried to get Donald to sell you the frog, George.
going to keep the frog. I wanted to keep the frog, and Louis convinced me to sell it. That's probably the best thing he's ever done for me.
Wait, Louis, you are to Donald what I am to you. I'm in your ear on every phone call. Sell it, dude.
Yeah,
Sell it all. This is a
where
chain
Donald
of
listens
selling,
to me and I don't listen to you.
and I'm the only one that ends up with ridiculous bags.
So wait, the bowing to air consignment, is that
Wait,
like not
where did your
accurate?
bags go?
The whole background.
That's not accurate. No.
You've been busy. You're not around. Listen, stuff's
You're
changed.
doing
buddy.
family stuff. We're doing family stuff, Louis. I'm glad your family stuff's all taken care of. By the way, I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that turned out okay.
It was great. It was a great
Good.
celebration of my marriage.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't a family thing. It was an anniversary trip.
The family thing, the foundation of my family.
Oh my God. So Donald,
Louis, George, and I are the
foundation of my
foundation of your
family.
family.
My family is mainly just Bob Iger.
Okay, can we talk about Lorcana? Because
I said
Donald,
Bob Iger. I just said Bob
Donald
Iger.
is here because Donald went to Atlanta, the big
Hot Lanta.
Where the players play.
He finished in the top 25%, not the top 25,
Oh.
but the top 25.
okay.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Isn't it like an 8,000 person event now, though?
2000.
So he got to see a
I
lot
got
of the
really
tournament.
excited for Donald for a second.
No.
But let's start here. We're going to talk about the promos that they just released and the excessive amount of
What?
the excessive prize.
What?
What?
Go ahead.
The prices of the playmats that they
Excessive.
are. Yeah.
Wildly excessive.
Cheap.
All right. First, let's talk about the Mickey promo.
Mickey promo.
1 of 50 gold Mickey promo.
Close. It's 1 of 500.
Well, there's 50 of them too. So
It's at least 50. That is accurate.
It's 1 of 50 of the 500. I see where you're going with this. I'm in. I'm in.
All right, 1 of 500 gold Mickey.
Yeah.
What's this?
Also, I don't think there's 500.
Yeah, there,
So
I
it's
thought
all
there
500.
will be. I thought was the
Yeah, they said they made it's literally serialized out of 500. I'm looking at it right
Correct.
Oh, serialized out of 500. Okay.
Yeah. now. Where does this rank in the Disney promos, the Lorcana promos?
Number 1.
It's the Holy Grail.
This will be more expensive than the
D23 Mickey.
This going to be worth more than
Uh,
the D23 set.
Yeah, probably.
This will be worth more than the D23.
This will
set.
absolutely be. Let me walk that back for a second. As of right now, that will be true.
Okay, in a year.
No.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't know.
From Mars.
It's serialized.
Only
it-
Josh cares about
Listen,
that.
Donald
What?
gets me.
There's
Only
a one
Josh
of,
and Rudy care.
there is a one of Mickey, and the player that won that Mickey will always be the one that won number 1 Mickey. Like
So
that's
importantly,
got
that's not the way they're doing it. The person who won it this tournament did not get number 1.
Wait, but there is a 1 of 1
There
Mickey.
is a
not
1 of 500.
No,
Yeah.
number 1 of 500 is what he's saying. There's a number 1.
Yeah, that doesn't matter as much as 69 and 420. So like,
I mean, you can get some weird things with Disney, folks. So, like Club 33 is a big thing with Disney. Like,
Yep.
I think number 33 could be really spicy.
I think, Louis, we're going to see that matter a lot more than we do in Magic, the numbering for
Yeah,
these
there's-
promos in Disney, because Disney collectors are a bit different than
Does-
TCG collectors. Let's go.
Goat is goat. Like it's just they get it. They're
Sure,
like
they shade more towards the George sides of things.
what George? Do we know the population of the D23 set stuff?
we believe it's somewhere in the 300 to 500.
Hmm.
I believe.
That'll be a really interesting. To
That's
think.
not true for the
It's
D23
that
Mickey.
low?
There's more the D23 Mickey.
Yeah, the D23 Mickey was super
I think it
handed
was
out.
700. I can find that out for you. I don't remember how many there was, but I think it's less than 1,000. I think.
So I think the D23 stuff is always going to have a special place in the history of the game, because it was essentially the very first
sample
Lorcana
cards.
card handed out, wasn't it?
It
I think those are
I mean,
essentially like what sample cards were for MetaZoo, what
Right.
sample cards are for Sorcery.
And that's always going to hold a special place. And in my opinion, that's going to do a lot better than the first competitive play card. For
I mean, like the Luffy at One Piece is the big comparison.
What do you mean?
The out of 700 Luffy is like the big comparison to this card.
The one that was the tournament one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I do agree with you, Josh. That's a little bit different, but I mean, I tend to think I'd rather have a D23 set, but I think this is the best card in Lorcana so far, in Goatkana so far.
This is an impossible card to figure out where the price will land because there's
so one is for sale.
One
is for sale, and like the rumor has been he's getting high 5, maybe low 6 figures.
So Donald, you were in the room, right, when this was going around. What was the feeling like for this?
It was outside of the room.
You were having spicy margs in the same.
It was
card.
They segregated the top 64 on day 2. Top 64 was not approachable at all. We couldn't see the matches. We couldn't see what was going. Like, I was hoping there'd be a giant screen and they would have like the little arena and we could watch top 8. They put them all back behind a screen. No idea what was.
They don't want that scruffy distraction, Donald. Come on, buddy.
So Donald, you held a Lorcana card before, and this Lorcana card has been printed. What do you think as far as like, I don't know, I kept trying to give him props and get him closer and closer to the metal, but we keep pushing me back. So you're on the podcast for Lorcana. What do you think about this card and its collectability?
I'm not a collector, so like to me it doesn't matter.
All right, thanks for coming.
I mean,
that's a lie. You just said that you won a $500 card and you're not going to sell it. You're keeping it. So
you were going to keep, you were going to keep other TCG cards to collect as well.
Yeah, you have your soul ring that you won't let me buy.
You're a collector who doesn't know he's a collector.
Don't buy. You're getting it for free in like a couple of months, Louis. Relax.
Right. I mean, to be fair, I play with the Masterpiece Soul Ring in my deck. It's not up on a shelf to look at.
And
I'm going to play.
I want to give him $900 for it.
I'm going to play with this Rapunzel. It's going in a deck. It's not going like I don't care about setting it up on the shelf. And
Donald, does a card like this and the value attached to it, what does it do for you in terms of wanting to continue to go to tournaments? Because you were in the line to apply for this tournament. You are all about the traveling to these things. Does this incentivize you, or are you just like, it wouldn't matter, I wanted to go anyway?
It would incentivize me to sell it. I would have sold it instantly. I mean, there was literally a guy, as soon as in round 3, they handed out the Dragonfires that everybody gets for participating. There was a guy that listed it the very second it hit his hand on eBay, sold for $575 right there before round 3 even started.
We're back.
Prices so good and healthy.
We're back.
Well, we got playmats too. The Lorcana Challenge playmat.
We're so back.
All right. So Donald, this was on the prize wall. Is that where this was?
The Cinderella playmat was on the prize wall. It was the most expensive item on the prize wall. It was 100 tickets. For reference, a side event, a 3-round side event, you got 1 ticket for signing up. You got 2 tickets per win. And if you went 3-0, you got a total of 7 tickets. So you got 1 additional ticket. So 7 tickets max in a side event. This costs 100.
Wait, the guy online, maybe this guy's lying. Shout out to Matt Harris. This guy says it was 3,000 tickets. So one of you two is lying.
No, it was 100. It was 100% 100 tickets. It might have been $3,000 for him to scam his way into 100 tickets.
Join us next week when Matt Harris comes on for his rebuttal.
Yes,
let me tell you about why there were two that I know of playmats.
And one that you touched.
But I did touch one. One of those playmats I touched.
That's one that went for 3,000 tickets.
Valuable one.
That one's been
and I got yelled at.
That one's worth more money.
I got yelled at by the prize wall lady for touching. She actually said no touchy.
Well, it was there was
a card. There was a Cusco card sitting in front of it because his thing is he says no touchy. I saw the card, but it didn't mean anything to me. I still touched the playmat because it's foil. Like all the sparkly stuff is foil. I wanted to touch it. I wanted to see it, and so she yelled at me.
Foil playmats are such a scam. They always peel.
Oh, for sure. That's why I wanted to touch it because I wanted to see like if it would. I could have rubbed it.
Make it peel.
I once knew this LGS that did foil playmats, and I got one from his store to use for like background of my videos, and they kept peeling all the time. Such a scam.
So let me, speaking of scams, let me tell you about how you get this playmat. So it's impossible. It's impossible to play enough side events to get this playmat.
So
Okay, it's mathematically impossible.
You have to buy.
However, if you were to get a attendee badge, which we had competitive
attendee as in TENDIE.
attendee.
That's the best bag ever.
So if you signed up for an attendee badge, which they could only play side event, they could come in and play side events. We had competitor badges playing in the main event. Attendees got 6 tickets for signing up. I think it was like $20 or something like that to get an attendee badge. Apparently, no one thought to put a limit on that. So this guy went in and bought an attendee badge, left the room, came back, bought an attendee badge, left the room, came back, bought an attendee badge.
He spent $333 on to get the playmat.
To get enough to get the playmat. But that specific guy I'm talking about, didn't get the playmat. He bought 4 Rapunzel promos, which were at our Cinderella promos, I think. At the time were like selling for $500-$600. And so he spent that much to make $1,700 instantly.
So, meanwhile, you were trying to win the game.
Meanwhile, I was getting destroyed by a 12-year-old in Lorcana. So
how did your tournament go? We should
Donald, as somebody who lost to a less than 12-year-old last week in Modern Magic, I feel your pain, buddy.
So Donald,
George,
would you attribute your loss to your inability to read?
Hold on. George, you played limited. You didn't play modern. You played limited.
Those are very similar, Louis, in his defense. Those are very close.
It wasn't
Maybe
even modern.
Modern Horizons 3.
Standard limited.
No, like modern as in recent. As in recent
That's not
Magic.
what modern means, buddy.
That's not in Magic, it doesn't.
No, my friend.
Okay, how did the tournament go for you, Donald? I haven't even gotten to talk to you because I've been out of country.
Yeah, so the tournament, I didn't stand a chance. Like, to be fair, I didn't think I stood a chance.
I believed in you, Donald. I put big money on you.
You are a good Magic player. Like, you have won pretty decent Magic tournaments.
Yeah, one of the issues, I changed my deck a week before the event.
Why does everybody always do that?
Because it's so much more fun.
I was big into a different indie, I had one player who was unbelievable at that game. And I was like, listen, homegirl, you could be competitive in this game. And I had a qualifier. She changed her deck and lost. I was like, what? Like, you destroy everybody at the store constantly. Just stay with your deck that has destroyed everybody you're going to play against constantly. She's like, this is more fun.
So my reason for changing is because of the best of 2 system. My deck doesn't play well on the draw, and you're guaranteed in best of 2 you're playing once on the play, once on the draw.
Right.
I kind of need that third match to even it out usually. So I decided to switch to a deck that was maybe didn't have the best matchups, but it is a very consistent deck on the play and the draw, so that I could kind of make my games a little more even instead of really good on the play, not so great on the draw.
So how do you feel about the 2?
So best of 2 was fine. I mean, we played 9 rounds, so it was a long day of Swiss. Playing best of 3, I would have probably dropped out around 6 because I was done already. But the best of 2 is fine. The reason for the best of 2 is because we don't have sideboards, and in Lorcana there's a big advantage to going first in most games. So best of 2 makes it more even to where both players get a chance to go first, and it's really Swiss is just about points. So it doesn't matter like if you win or lose or whatever. Right. Whoever's getting the most points is moving on to day 2. So whether we play best of 2, best of 3, it's all about just collecting that amount of points. Best of 2 was fine. It felt fine. It could have been best of 2, best of 3. It didn't really matter at that point, I think, to me. I would rather have best of 3 in sideboards. I understand the reason they don't want sideboards is because it's more of an advanced thing, and they're trying to ease into that. I think eventually we will go to sideboards, but I think right now they're just trying to test the water. They wanted to make it as even as possible, and best of 2 was the best way to do that.
So best of 2, it means every round, no matter what, you're just playing 2 games, and you get 0 points, 1 point, or 2 points for each game.
So 0 for a loss, 3 for a win, and if you 2-0, you get 7 points. So you get 1 extra point for 2-0ing. So the way the math worked out to make day 2, you had to have, I think it was like 5 2-0s. One, I think you could have 1 0-2 and then the rest 1-1s. I think that was the math. I don't remember for sure. That might have been top 128 math instead of 64. But anyway, you pretty much had to 2-0 the majority of your games to make day 2.
Did you do that?
Yeah,
I did not. No, I 2-0'd 3. I played Ruby Amethyst, which is the
already plays.
It's the number 1 played deck.
Do you think they did that in honor of my dog Ruby?
I do think that, yes.
Thank you for doing that for me, Donald. I appreciate that, buddy.
It was Bob. It wasn't Donald. Don't get it. It was Bob.
Yeah. Shout out Bob.
It was Bob.
Bob did that.
Did you just say who is Bob? Were you about to say who's Bob?
Oh, I think
Bob's the goat.
George had a reset there for a second. George blue screened. Jeez.
Bob's the goat.
Cool. So what's your next tournament you're going to, Donald?
I didn't get a ticket to Chicago. Yeah, I tried. I was in line. I could just go and play side events, which I honestly think
go scam the side events.
Badges, buddy. You learned the hack.
Are we gonna go over the prices of these playmats or no?
Yeah, I mean, I did want to talk about the promos and
I think that'd be a great topic, Donald. Thank you for bringing it up.
This guy has his listed for anywhere between $4 and $5,000.
I'll buy it at $4.
I got 5.
I think he's saying $4,000 to $5,000, but
I mean, playmats are selling for that range.
That is so
the most
ridiculous.
Toxic thing I've ever heard of.
I have always said this: what these games need are collectible playmats. It has been the missing piece of almost every indie TCG or every new TCG. Is like, oh, I have a promo card. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. We need collectible playmats, and I'm glad finally somebody has barged in and filled in that void. Good job, Bob.
There's probably footage on this podcast of you saying exactly that.
Yeah, last week.
I think that's a totally reasonable price for a playmat.
I have a MagicCon Chicago top 8 Pauper event playmat if you'd like to buy it.
It's anywhere between $4 and $5,000
for it.
$2,000.
Like, how many playmats that were made 10 years ago do we think are worth $1,000?
So there are playmats that were used in like the 1997 World Magic Championship and that kind of stuff. I don't even think those fetch like that kind of premium. And I don't know.
So I do think there will be a higher floor for Lorcana playmats just because people will like the characters. But like,
you're looking at a guy who spent like $15,000 on playmats in the pandemic.
You're so bad.
Playmats.
I wish you hadn't told me that. I think
Donald, we are so back, buddy.
Donald, he gave them to you as well.
Right. Luckily, I found somebody else to carry those very, very heavy bags.
Yeah. I know who carried it for you. I know exactly who carried a lot of those for you.
Shout out to that person. They carried those with a lot of pride. No, shout out. They deserve a gold medal playmat.
You should get them a playmat. That would be nice.
All right, Donald. Ready for the most fun game that we always forget to play?
Sure.
What is this $5,000 playmat worth in a year?
Before you answer that, imagine if the game's around in 10 years. Just imagine.
Easily.
Just imagine.
Okay. That playmat is going to be available at every one of these events.
We don't know that.
We do know that.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Said that.
So
there's no date on it. No date on it. And
I'm going to say it drops by 50% after each event.
That's a good guess. So it's like $300 by the end of the year.
And it will be worth $4. Yeah.
So, Louis, get in there. What do you think?
I
1
don't
year
know
from
if it'll-
today.
I don't think it'll be that excessive of a drop. I still think we'll see it at like $2,000.
It's still look. There's no way that they learned their lesson quick. Like they shut that shit down. So no one's exploiting tickets in Chicago or moving forward. So
putting tickets in Chicago that way.
That way, they might find another way. There was two ways that it happened this
Buddy,
event, and they shut them both down.
Long. We'll steal it. We'll just take it.
Hey, Atlanta is far sketchier than Chicago. Not as sketchy as
100%.
Baltimore. Not as sketchy as Baltimore.
Hold on.
Great take. Great take.
Well, you're also from West Virginia, so you know about the sketch.
There's no way that Atlanta is more sketchy than Chicago.
Atlanta.
100%.
Atlanta?
I felt completely safe in Chicago.
That's not good.
I was sure I was getting
a really great
Hold on.
part of Chicago.
In
We were in a really
Chicago,
great-
you were with Josh, who is a giant. He is.
I was only
Until
with
when someone pulls a gun, I'm running just as fast as everyone else. I don't know what you think this is.
I was only with Josh inside the convention center. So
I kept you safe. Stand by
I felt
me, baby.
safe there. I mean, you know.
So, Donald, what was your favorite chicken and waffles in Hotlanta?
I didn't have chicken and waffles. I didn't have
Never
time.
having you, Donald.
I
That
did
was our
not have
topic,
time
really?
to eat. I was playing 9 rounds of Swiss.
You could have dropped earlier and gotten chicken and waffles, Donald.
I
expected better
100%
from
agree
you.
with you. I should have dropped earlier and went to eat, but I didn't.
This is
So-
Ravensburger doesn't get it. If they made it best of 3, Donald could have had chicken and waffles.
Back to the prices of promos. I mean, the Lorcana stuff has held up pretty well on the high end. Like D23
It
has held up. I
has held up
criticize
way
the
better
hell
than I
out
thought
of
it would.
I criticized the hell out of D23. I was dead ass wrong about that.
We all were.
We all thought it was too high.
I still think first set Enchanteds, I don't understand how they're going up in price while the rest of the set goes down in value and people still crack open boxes and the EVs still whatever.
More
This
maybe.
this last wave of restock has tanked the prices on the Enchanteds a bit.
For first chapter still?
Mm-hmm.
And we still haven't seen all of it. Like we saw first chapter restock, but we still haven't seen a huge restock of the other sets, which I think will have some other effect to it too. But the high end stuff has held up better than I thought it would. I think this will fall in that same category. I think there's some pretty big Lorcana whales that like to see things stay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
there.
I think that's true. That's also always true until it's not.
Did I just catch what you insinuated? Are you insinuating that whales are going to prop up this market?
I think that's happening.
Oh,
I'm not convinced it's happening.
We know that the D23s are owned by like 7 people.
We don't know that.
There
We
was
know
one of them at the
person-
convention. I could have bought it. It was
We
there.
know one person owns a lot, in fairness to you, Louis. But like, we don't like. I don't think that's.
is he on this podcast?
Oh, I also own a few. I guess. Now that I think about it. I was thinking that. I'll be honest.
Like the D23 sets, it's propped up by a group of people.
Well, there's only a few hundred, Louis. Like, it doesn't take many.
Right, I know, but like that's what I'm saying. Like the high end stuff, there's only going to be a few hundred of these playmats. So if they want it to be expensive, it will.
Like,
I don't know, man.
but here's the difference: is we've seen examples of trading cards being collectible and expensive. Every playmat that tries to be collectible and expensive eventually fails, right? And I don't think people that are, even if they try to hold on, let's conspiracy. If they
Did you
try
see
to
my
pop
wall?
up,
Did you see the
I-
wall?
I
The
did.
wall was
and
beautiful.
I also watched when you cut it down, so I don't know how much.
I know who carried your bags. I know he also took a bath.
Collecting a playmat is way different than collecting a card.
God,
Yeah,
he
it's
gets
called
it.
dumber.
He gets it.
I get it's called
Like
like.
Yeah,
a playmat
we have no
is
examples of it working.
meant to be played on. I guess in the same sense a card is meant to be played. But still, like I've never in my life thought about collecting a playmat.
The playmat is there, so when I spill my beer, it doesn't get on my card.
Look at
It's to, it's to
Hey, look,
protect my
listen.
cards from the table.
I too never thought about collecting a playmat until
you did.
all of a sudden, I was like, you know what I could do?
But you have a FOMO problem. Like
Wait, in fairness, Donald, Louis has a lot of problems. FOMO is
Yeah,
just one
wait,
of them.
hold it. Are you moonlighting as Louis' therapist?
Are you Carol?
No, guys, Carol never told me what my problems were. She just asked me how I felt about things.
How do you feel about
you guys
collectible playmats, Louis?
obviously have not gone through therapy. Like, God,
How do you feel about collectible playmats, Louis?
I still think the best podcast idea that I ever had was George interviewing me after my therapy about my therapy session. I still think that would have been absolute gold content. That would have been, and it would have been like the therapy would have helped, but then George would have just reverted it back. So
that was a good time too. You would have had a lot of hate watching. You would have had a lot of hate watching.
We had
ridden the wave.
Oh yeah,
time, we had so much hate watching.
It would have been a good. You're right. That would have been good content.
Unfortunately, Carol was just such a good therapist that worked out. But all right, let's go to the real. We're 30 minutes into the Lorcana segment, and we're just getting to the best part of the segment. Pixel Dead. They killed.
We're not going over any of the promos.
We talked about. What do you want?
FOMO.
I had like 12 things more to talk about.
That's fine. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, you got to roll with it, buddy.
Talk to Carol about it. Let's talk about Pixelborn being Pixel Dead. So Josh, paint us the picture, because all I know is what you posted.
All I know is that there was an announcement saying Pixelborn is shut down. I think George has the actual details. I just framed it as the fact that Ravensburger hates all of its players.
So first of all, it's not shut down.
Oh, thank you, Donald. Donald, preach, Donald. Keep going, baby.
Not shut down. It's up until June 16th.
Yeah.
All right. That's not where I was going to go with it.
But no, he was going to talk about my meme of saying they hate their players.
And technically, they didn't tell him he had to shut it down.
Going somewhere different this, Donald, but I appreciate it.
Keep going, in so many words, but and it was not Ravensburger. It was Disney. It was Disney that came after it for using Disney characters.
Right, which makes sense.
I just want to say that I'm shocked that Disney, who put $1.5 billion into Epic Games, didn't want a free game with their IP also on the interwebs.
So you're saying that Disney's going to be using Epic Games to make a client for online?
No, I don't think they even care. I think they're just throwing their weight around and saying you can't use.
They have legal obligation to do so.
They do, but
they have a legal obligation to protect their IP, or they lose.
Okay, hold on. We need to do a better job of setting up the scenario. I tried, but let me try a little.
Unsurprisingly, you failed.
Oh yeah, I phoned it in. That's on me.
Yeah, there was a announcement. My heart is shattered to pieces. I put everything in this project for the past year and a half. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. But they are putting in a request that he take down Pixelborn.
I'm about to say, if he's gonna just read the 2-page announcement, I did a better job than I thought I
did. They are asking him to shut down Pixelborn effective on the 15th or whatever date. This is after George's words. Bob Iger, the GOAT, provided millions of people to be able to play the game, and blah blah blah. So
once again, this was Disney and not Ravensburger. I think everybody knew this was coming. They can't just let a free client float around there forever. However, this Pixelborn single-handedly saved Lorcana. Lorcana would not be in set 4 without Pixelborn. Let me tell you what. Set 1.
Wow. I'm a big fan of hot takes on this podcast. That was why we got Donald on this.
Making the most of your shot, buddy. I love it.
Listen. Set 1, no one could get their hands on cards. You could not play the game in paper. Could not play it. It was pretty much impossible. However, there was a client that allowed you. No, I'm speaking. There was a client.
That's not how the podcast works.
There was a client that allowed you to play this game and therefore get interest in the game. So therefore, when you could get your hands on cards, the people that had played it were like, "Oh, now I'll go out and get my cards." But if it wasn't for Pixelborn, there were tons of people. There would not be as many people playing this game as what there are now. Pixelborn saved the player base.
Those are two.
We moved during our explanation.
Those are two different statements there, Dr. Donald.
No, they're not. What's different about that?
Lorcana would not have
Saying
made
it would not be not have as many players.
Okay.
And saying the game would have died.
Single-handedly
saved
it
it
wouldn't have died, but it would not be to the degree that it is. We wouldn't have had 2,000 people in Atlanta. We would have been fine at 500 tickets.
I'm here for it. No, I'm here for it, Donald. I'm here for it. Now, let me ask you this: why didn't
It's
they
digital a scam, Donald?
Why didn't? Why? Didn't, let me ask you, why wouldn't Ravensburg just, or why wouldn't Disney just offer to buy Pixelborn? Why?
Chance.
I think that if Ravensburger is smart, they hire him and have him develop their own platform for their arena. It's got to be monetary. It can't be free. But if there's the guy is talented, obviously.
Why
That's
not?
true. Great take.
He is a great programmer. He needs to. He will get picked up. If it's not by Ravensburger, he will get picked up by
Sorcery,
Fantasy Flight, whatever. Sorcery doesn't.
Come on, Sorcery.
Later.
He's already got it made.
He wants a real thing. But anyway, I mean, if one of these companies are smart, they pick him up to develop their client.
I think that's true. I don't think it'll be Star Wars or Ravensburger.
No, it probably won't. But the thing is, that's their mistake.
Walk back.
Because
Hold on.
Agree.
George, you seem to have a very large opinion that they shouldn't have bought.
Licensing Disney is. Go ahead.
Why would they not say to him, "Hey, we'll pay you $500,000 for your platform to keep it up and running," and then buy it from him and then monetize it on their end? Why would they?
They might not have the right to do that. I suspect they don't. I suspect they have the right to print a paper card game.
Ravensburg does, or Disney does?
I suspect Ravensburger has the right to print Lorcana on paper, is my guess. I do not know that. That's a wild guess. I would have thought
who knows how much Ravensburger was involved in the decision? They might have zero say in the decision.
So I think two separate ideas, right? Disney shutting down Pixelborn probably had nothing to do with Ravensburger having a conversation to buy it. Disney is known to shut down any unlicensed use of their IP.
Right.
They're vigilant about it. They say, hey, we look through our Rolodex of contracts. We have one with Ravensburger. We don't have one with Pixelborn. Shut this down. Meanwhile, the Ravensburger contract is for physical cards, a paper card game. If that contract is not there for re-upping,
5 playmats every set.
Yeah, and 6. Remember, one for every event. 6 playmats every set. So if they're not going to do that, then they can't go to this guy and buy his digital client knowing it doesn't fit under the umbrella of their contract. And Ravensburger doesn't want to I'm assuming they don't want to ruin a good thing. They want to knock on Disney's doors. Hey, we want to change our contract. We've already talked about it. Disney doesn't even know you exist. Disney said, hey, don't bother me. If you bother me, I'm going to shut you down.
I also don't think they need this.
This is the problem with big corporations. This is why I love sorcery.
Oh my God.
This is why big corporations rule.
Yeah. This is why this is boring. It's like we all knew this was happening.
Yeah.
They can't do anything fun and good for their community. They have to just protect their stupid
You said digital was a scam the last month.
It is a scam. I still agree it's a scam. It doesn't mean it's not a scam that's working.
I mean, 100% free client. There's no scam there.
And now we're back to NFTs. Now here we are.
Jimmy with you. It's a scam that works. I'll tell you, it's not a scam. Graded cards from Booster Snacks. Go buy them right now. Little pluggy plug.
BoosterSnacksUSA.com.
Wait, hold on. Did we talk about the deal yet? The big drop?
No. Well, we already have in this time frame.
In this timeline.
Yeah. We're gonna edit this because
Oh, I don't do that. I don't know what that is like.
That follows.
I think this does suck for people who have been playing.
Yeah, but
2.5 million games played.
I think we were lucky to have had it as long as we did. I really do.
Better to have loved and lost than to not love at all.
So the big
But
people that are whining the most are the grinders, the ones that are like
right.
on there.
The only people this hurts are the tournament grinders, and your content creators to an extent. But your average person doesn't even know
people doing content for gameplay of any game.
That's not true. There's a lot of gameplay content out there. But anyway,
yeah,
the average person doesn't know Pixelborn exists. The average person that comes into a game store, buys a starter deck, and plays in a league has no idea that Pixelborn exists. So your top players are the ones that are
yet Pixelborn single-handedly saved the game and kept it alive.
We're coming around, Louis. Let us new information becomes available. Let us revise our opinions. Not revive, but that opinion's dead. But he's coming around. It's fine.
I also think the other problem is it got way too big. Like that's the other problem.
Yes.
It's like
I mean it gets on the radar.
Yeah.
Was it a pretty common topic of conversation at the event, Donald? Like, hey, I tried this on Pixelborn. I tried this.
Oh yeah. Anybody you play at a tournament is like, yeah, I played that on Pixelborn for a while, or like everyone there has played Pixelborn. I would put money on that.
Right.
But
do you think those players that are already competing at these events are just going to proxy the cards in different ways to do their testing? Or do you think it makes them actually buy the cards?
Yeah, I don't think that it's the proxy or access to cards that's the issue. I think it's the ease of play that
right. That's 100% what it is.
To spin something up quickly and have a deck and try something.
The cards aren't expensive to play to build a deck.
Shipping time. There's getting them all together. There's putting curated lists and carts. There's a little work there.
And Josh, if you and Donald were best friends, which you're not. Right?
Secretly, we are.
If you and Donald were best friends, you guys could play games, and you're in Chicago and he's in West Virginia, and like that you wouldn't have to have like, hey, we're meeting at the LGS and doing whatever. So, I
mean, it'll just go back to what all the pro Magic players did prior, which was meet up in a room for a weekend, lock themselves in there with every deck in the format, and just play games.
Event houses. Yep.
I mean, that's what will happen.
The golden age of TCGs.
Right. I mean, before Arena, that's what Magic players had to do. So there will be a digital client eventually. I mean, as my best friend George says, digital is the future. So
am I in your will?
You're not to the next segment, buddy.
Hey,
why are you in your will?
Donald, give him the soul ring because you're dead to me.
Wow. All right. Well,
good
luck running your Lorcana.
If he's dead, then you have the soul ring already.
Dang it, George! I'll give you the soul ring. I will.
Great. Can you believe that like Louis was going to have me clear out his store and sell all of his dead TCGs, but not leave me his kids?
That's not at all what I said.
Basically what you said.
Says. The will says that you will buy my stuff for 50% of the market.
So even after he's dead, you will still buy his stuff at 50 cents on the dollar.
Bags.
Yeah, you have to carry 50% of my bags.
Spoiler alert, George. He didn't sell a single playmat.
Yeah,
they're all for you, buddy.
What do I do with these cryptic sheets?
I have an X of 200 cryptic playmat if you'd like to buy that.
You don't. You just think you do, Donald. I was told I have a lot of very limited cards. Spoiler, they keep showing up. And spoiler, I haven't sold mine.
Not for lack of trying.
All right, Donald, thank you so much for being here. I guess this is also the end of the podcast. So, Donald, thank you for what else do you
thought there was other topics.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot those and then edit this in.
No, those other GoatCon topics.
What other GoatCon topics did you think existed?
I don't remember.
Nice, nailed it.
I do want to say two things.
Go for it, Donald.
Right. I want to
talk, King.
I want to say one more thing about Atlanta and then sum it up.
Atlanta.
Okay. So one other thing on the prize wall. 12 tickets. I mentioned how hard it is to get tickets, right? 12 tickets to get a Cinderella non-foil promo. 14 tickets to get a Rapunzel non-foil promo. Those are the big hits on the prize wall. Okay. You have to win 2 side events to
or spend $20
or passes. Gotcha.
Right And we'll not talk about the fact that it took you 3 hours to sign up for a side event in person because the line wrapped around the building because they had one person on a computer signing you up.
I also heard the software.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic for another time. But anyway, so hard to get these tickets. I could have, for 25 tickets, mind you, for 2 Rapunzels, or 2 Cinderellas, I could have got a Lorcana hat.
Wow.
For 20 tickets, I could have got a Lorcana shirt.
That's super cool.
Now, Hawaiian or tee?
You can't even
Regular
wear a
t-shirt. Regular t-shirt. Now, had they had a store for $20, I could have bought a shirt all day. I would have bought a hat for $25. Am I going to spend those tickets on a hat or a shirt? I guarantee you they sold exactly 0 the entire weekend. They could have sold 2,000 shirts.
It doesn't seem like they really understood their ticket math either.
They did not understand the mission. Yeah, it was highly exploitable. But this leads me into my wrap up. So, learning from your mistakes.
By the way, Donald is the first person on this podcast to show up with notes, and he had notes.
I have an outline.
We
got completely destroyed.
We don't have an outline for the podcast.
Don't bring a plan to this chaos, buddy.
If you ever come prepared to this podcast, you deserve what happens to you. Banana Man just shows up drunk on a spicy mark.
I didn't keep.
I have a banana costume. I could have worn. You
should have.
I just never knew.
So
I also want to talk about this tournament software that crashed.
There were
that's a big story too.
Oh yeah, Melee sucks. I mean, that's just. It's not their software though. It's not their. It's a third-party software.
Melee is no good.
Melee's, yeah.
Melee, what happened with that? How much did it crash? How long was it down?
So by round 2, we could not get our pairings on Melee. 2,000 people. 2,000 people trying to figure out what table we're supposed to be at. This is also after they told us after our match, we all have to leave the play area and then funnel back in through one entrance that was this wide so that they could check our badges. That only lasted 1 round.
Yeah.
Josh, can I ask you a question as a software developer? Why is it so hard for these companies to make software that Swiss pairs people into pairings?
Melee just sucks.
Well,
Melee sucks.
Listen, yeah, Melee's antiquated, so it doesn't do what you need to do anymore. But like, it's hard to test these things at scale, man, until you get under the load of all these people.
I just feel like 2,000.
Oh no! I'm not making excuse for Melee's failure. I'm saying when you see software that fail at 500,000, 1 million hits and things like that, it's like it's hard to test that.
Like T has done a ton of very big tournaments. None of those have crashed. And those on the Lorcana Play Network.
Yes, so this is not an excuse for Melee's crappiness.
The problem is 2,000 people all at the same time trying to get their pairing.
But that shouldn't be that big of a deal in 2024 anyway. The problem is Melee's written 15 years ago, and I bet a bunch of that legacy code, the foundation that software lives on, still exists today. Because that's how all these projects work. You build something, you slowly make improvements.
Antiquated, old.
You never rebuild it from the ground up like you should.
Bad
cardio. Team Lorcana Play Network.
There you go. That's what you need.
They have to develop their own system. They have to get their own system. And this weekend was a wake-up call, I hope, to developing their own system.
Donald, they can use Cryptic's old system though.
They can have it.
They have it. Lorcana Play Network.
So I will say by round 3, we had all over the room QR codes that you could scan, and it would have a spreadsheet of all of your everybody's name alphabetically and your what table you were at. They posted it. You're like they posted it on their Discord. So they realized by round 3, Melee's not going to work to get our pairings. What can we do to get our pairings to people and not have to wait 30 minutes for everybody to try and find? And they adapted.
So hot take. Donald's trying to pump them for adapting. Hot take. They pre-planned that they knew that was going to happen, and they had the solution in the back.
I don't know if they pre-planned it or if they Hail Married, but either way, they adapted and they fixed it.
What would have been easier is instead of putting QR codes, if they just put the pairing sheets in alphabetical order on various pillars, and you could go to your
And all 2,000 people will crowd around that sheet trying to find it. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hold on. Alphabetical order means that you're able to separate the sheets into
sure.
areas.
If you know which pillar is yours and you know where to go.
God forbid you put an A through C on the top of the pillar. But no, listen, I understand West Virginia, things are tough. Technology's weird.
In the words of Michael Scott, adapt, readapt, react, redact, readapt.
It's true.
Good job, Lorcana.
way to turn to Google Docs.
They could use a better organized play system.
Yes.
All right, Donald, was there anything else you wanted to say? Before
I was just going to say the theme of the weekend for me was learning from the mistakes and moving forward, because
I often do that on this podcast, Donald.
Because what they
was the first mistake.
What they were able to do that Magic hasn't been able to do for 30 years is learn from their mistakes and fix it, instead of just ignoring that it exists and moving on,
brother.
And assuming it'll just go away.
He's in there with a shovel. Just
Are you also going to learn from your mistakes and perform better than top 25% next time?
I am going to learn from my mistakes and find a better friend.
Yeah.
There you go. Nailed it.
How many months do you think it'll be until Lorcana is bigger than Magic?
It'll never happen.
My guess was 6.
You got to take the bait every once in a while, man. You can't always be too smart for the bait.
It doesn't happen. Sorry. I actively play Lorcana 10 times more than I play Magic.
Me too.
And it'll never be bigger than Magic.
I've played more Magic than I have Lorcana. That just hit me. Thanks. Thanks, Austin.
Well, Donald.
Wow, I played more Sorcery than either of those games.
I have to play Sorcery because it's the only game Louis will play with me now. So if I want to play a game, it has to be Sorcery, because this is a one-sided friendship. So,
George, do you think when the Sorcery digital client comes out, you're going to jump on?
You know what? I probably would play a game or two.
Let's go.
I'll get it. I had a wonderful meal with Simon, as we'll talk about, as you guys already know from earlier in this podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
Listen, I still think Sorcery is a great gameplay experience. I just think the market's stupid.
Okay, save that for the Sorcery section, which we'll have already.
Which was already happening.
We already
Donald,
talked about.
it was an honor to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, best friend.
A round of applause, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did great.
Everybody in the comment section say shout out to Donald, our best. Donald,
RuffyGaming.org. You can find more from there.
Best friend of the podcast.
Donald, do you want to pump your YouTube channel still? Are you still making content?
I am not making content, but it's out there if you want to.
I keep pumping you on all my live streams, and you keep saying, I don't make videos anymore.
We will pin. Here's what we're going to do. Donald's going to pin the link to the boostersnacks.us.com, and I will pin it to the top. It will be Donald's channel promoting Booster Snacks on the podcast comment section. So if you want to subscribe to Donald's channel, it's right there.
Wait, I have 2 more questions for Donald. Do you prefer the ranch or the spicy Booster Snacks?
I didn't get to try the spicy ones because Louis hogged them all, but the ranch ones were fantastic. As the only Booster Snack I've been able to sample, they were fantastic.
And what is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
I hate Taylor Swift.
Well,
nice having you on, Donald. You've been great.
Can you come back next week, Donald, how quickly can you come back to the podcast?
I'm assuming never now, but
please come back. Help me, Donald.
I think Taylor Swift is overrated, and whoever listens to her music outside of 14-year-old girls has issues.
Donald,
we're the average listener. We're the average listener.
Donald, you make me want to move to West Virginia, and I don't say that lightly.
George, nothing is average about you, buddy. All right.
My hairline.
All right, Donald, thanks for being here. George and Josh, also, thanks for being here. You can subscribe to Josh's channel at Hometown TCG.
Hometown TCG.
You can subscribe to George's channel at George's.
You gotta find it.
You gotta find it. I'll give you a hint. Taylor Swift is involved in the name in some way.
And make sure you go buy Modern Horizons 3 at gamegrove.gg.
No, you are not.
Save my soul. And then go buy Booster Snacks at boostersnacksus.com. Link is pinned
What's the code, Louis? What's the code?
They have a new code for us. It's a different code.
I know.
And are you prepared?
I am so prepared.
You clearly are.
Bundle 2024.
Now, Louis, I have a complaint about the last bundle that we did. I think the discount was great, but I want some exclusive goodies just for us.
This will give them a free encased holofoil card with their order. And 50%
Wait.
off.
Encased? Are you serious? That's got to be an incredible value.
They also you can now get these graded at PSA.
I think for
Wow,
free.
really?
For what?
I
For
thought
free?
it was for free.
I
do not think it was for free.
Oh,
I think that was incorrect.
That's impressive.
I think that
So you can get an encased card with what promo, Louis?
the code bundle 2024.
Listen, it's very
Bundle
clear why Booster
2024.
Pack-
Wow, that's an incredible deal. And I believe, Louis, is there a sale going on the website, like the whole website right now?
And
But
if
wait,
you hold
there's
on.
more.
But wait, there's more. If you eat booster snacks, you too can look like us.
Wait.
Everything on the website is 50% off, which is why we lost our code because we did such an amazing. What?
We already said this in the past.
But you got to pump it at the end too. That's the last call to action. That's the last call to action.
There you go, everybody. Thank you, George.
This is what a class at an Ivy League institution gets you, Louis. You're welcome.
Call to action.
Goodbye, everybody. May the booster snacks be with you.
And also with your encased promos.
And your sealed cards.
And with you?